Welcome back to the homestead. So, I think I finally have a definite answer with, I don't know if I want to call it proof because I still think it's bullshit, but I wanted to lay it out. Okay, so my last video was really much more of a rant um, of what I thought was bullshit in the first place. Um, and so I kind of wanted to lay it out in a more structured way to kind of show you why I'm so pissed without the emotional side to it. Okay, so for starters, so just so you know, I do have the section printed out for the Wisconsin food code, basically the laws and regulations when it pertains to this subject. I've starred a few sections, the first of which being how it used to be. Okay, so just a couple of years ago, processing rabbit for direct sales. All of this has to do with direct sales. Processing rabbit for direct sales from the farm fell under an exemption under the meat establishment license requirements, just like poultry still does. So here is the poultry exception, or exemption, I'm sorry. A person slaughtering and otherwise processing poultry produced on that person's premises, provided that all the following apply. The person slaughters and otherwise processes no more than 1,000 poultry annually. The person slaughters, otherwise processes, and sells the poultry at the premises where they are produced. And the person clearly and conspicuously labels each package or container of poultry meat with the processor's name and address and the words "not inspected." Now, that was the exact same for rabbit, except there was no limit to how many rabbits you could process and sell within a year. And that was fine. So something has happened. And now, whether you're processing one rabbit or 5 million rabbits, you need what they call a meat establishment license. So, that means you need to apply for permission from the state to be licensed. Now, here's the thing though, there's no fee for this license. There is no mandatory inspection of the animals either. But they have added some requirements. So let's go over that. Let's see. So those are the exemptions. Okay. So here's the license application, right? So your basic information needed for a license application, correct and legal name, social security number, address. For each meat establishment, a proposed slaughter and processing schedule under subsection 12, which is another burr in my rear end, and we'll cover that. So a processing and slaughter schedule, additional information if required, and then it goes into the fees, and it does say it's $25 for the license for the slaughter of more than 3,000 rabbits in a year. A rabbit slaughter establishment shall be licensed, except there shall be no license fee for the slaughter of 3,000 or fewer rabbits annually. So it's totally okay. Like I said, it's free. So here was my frustration with the last set of emails. They said, oh, inspection is not mandatory, but here's all these requirements for your facility that you need. And they just kept saying, no, that's not what we mean. That's not what we mean. So I had to pry it out of them. I said, then what does it mean? If your paperwork that you sent me says no inspection is needed or mandatory unless over the 3,000 rabbit number, then what are you talking about? And they finally brought it in. So it is part of the ATCP Meat Establishment License, Chapter 55, Section 3, Subsection 5. It says pre-license inspection. Before the department issues a license for a new meat establishment or issues a license to a new operator of an existing meat establishment, the department shall inspect that meat establishment, and the department shall perform the inspection within 30 days after the operator applies for the license, unless the applicant agrees to a later inspection date. They have a note. The department may inspect any meat establishment regardless of whether an inspection is required or not. So something's happened in the last 2 years where the way it has been done for as long as I know within the state was no longer safe. And these are the new requirements. And part of that means you need to have an enclosed facility with a ceiling, a floor, 4 walls. It cannot be, none of your processing can be done outside. You need to have hot and cold running water. You need to have a separate hand washing facility. And in the latest information they sent me, you also need to ensure that you have bathroom facilities. Although it doesn't specify whether that's, your bathroom facilities in the house would be okay. If you have employees, obviously not, but that's beside the point. So it is in there, and they finally told me about it, even though I have been back and forth for weeks, just asking for a simple answer to that very question. And they couldn't just simply say, here it is in the code, boom. No. It's like fucking pulling teeth. So the other part of what goes into applying for that license is the slaughter and processing schedule. And so here's part of that. A person applying for a meat establishment license shall include with the license application a proposed schedule for slaughter and other processing. A meat establishment operator need not include a schedule with a license renewal application. But if you're a new, if no change in that schedule has been proposed. Okay, so here's what you have to specify in your proposed schedule. A schedule shall specify the days of each week and the hours of each day during which the applicant proposes to engage in each of the following activities in the meat establishment. Slaughter food animals to produce meat or poultry products for sale. Process by means other than slaughtering meat or poultry products for sale. Custom slaughter of food animals or otherwise custom processed meat or poultry products. And custom processed wild game. So, if you're doing this as a regular commercial facility, I understand why they would want to have this. But we're talking about direct sales here. Okay, I'm trying to build a working farm. I have 4 children to care for, 2 of which are homeschooled, and the other 2 are 3 years old and under. And they want me for rabbits. This is just for rabbits. Direct sales for rabbits. They want me to write out a schedule, here are the days I'm going to be, each week, each day of the week, and all the hours involved with each of those to process. Well, let me tell you something. Pregnancies don't always take. So if the pregnancy doesn't take, guess what? Your fucking slaughter schedule is screwed. Or perhaps, what if your breeder dies and now you have to change? You got to get a new breeder. You got to find new breeding stock. Okay? There's more to it. The department may require a change in a schedule for slaughtering and other processes under this subsection if any of these apply. A change is needed in order to make slaughter inspection services available or to make efficient use of the department's slaughter inspection staff. So, this is what they're saying. We need you to give us a schedule of all the slaughter work that you intend to do. Oh, see, that's not a good day for us. So we need you to change that and resubmit. Because it also says a meat establishment operator may not deviate from a schedule established under this subsection without prior written department approval. You know what? Fuck you guys. Straight up. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So, if it doesn't work out for us, you're going to have to change your schedule because we have to inspect this. See, this is what's so stupid because I'm doing direct sales. And according to these same people, I do not need animal-to-animal inspection during the slaughter process. And yet, this is what I'm required to submit anyway. What's the point? And now there's always these motherfuckers that come out and say, but it's for people's safety. They want to make sure the process that you're using is safe and effective. And that's just if you want to upgrade to selling more than 3,000 rabbits a year. No. It's called a fucking registry. And it's a goddamn slippery slope. And don't tell me that a governmental agency will not use that information against you. Because if you think that, you have not been paying attention for the last 18 fucking months. Almost 2 years. I've been screaming at the rooftop that nothing is improved when government gets involved. And the last 2 years should be a perfect fucking example. So there it is. So what is my solution? Well, I'm going to say fuck the system. That's what I'm going to do. So in one of the emails that I received, they specifically stated that if you are looking to raise, slaughter, process, and provide meat for the general public or to wholesale, this is the license you would need. Well, guess what? I'm not going to provide goods to the general public. I will create a private club. So fuck you. We're in a time right now where there are supply chain issues. There are shortages of food because of bureaucratic bullshit like this that says, no, you can't do this here. You got to get a special license for this here. And then you got to do an extra special license to do it over here. And then you need a third special license to sell it to someone. Something as simple as removing the bureaucratic red tape, not just for rabbits, but for cows and pigs and sheep. When it comes to farmers who want to raise, produce, and process for direct sales, would open up a lot of room in these commercial processing facilities, where they're large ones or they're smaller ones that are doing stuff. If a farmer doesn't want to engage in wholesale or grocery store sales, why are they not allowed to process these animals themselves on their farm? Why is a consumer not allowed to go to a farmer and say, I really like how you care for your animals here. Can you explain your butchering process for me? Most people I know, including myself, would be extremely excited to share that with people. The fact that people want to take an interest in their food is one of the greatest feelings uh, of a person can receive when it comes to a potential buyer, a potential customer. Um, and if that potential customer says, "I like how you do that. I'll try some of your product, your beef, your pork, your chicken, your rabbits, whatever." But nope. So it looks like the best way to skirt this whole system is to create a private club. Whether or not I'm going to label it as a food club, probably not. It'll be a private homesteaders club. And that's where we're going from here, you guys. This is in step with a lot of the other information that I've seen coming down the pike. There's an all-out war on animal agriculture. And the FDA and USDA have both, in meetings back in 2019, said that we can change cultural attitudes through regulation and taxation. And this is a perfect fucking example. So I suggest you guys either build up your own community, learn how to grow your own food, produce your own meat, or find people willing to create private clubs, because they're either going to price you out of it or regulate you out of it. So hopefully the next video will be more uplifting, but I hope this gives you guys an idea. We've got some rabbits to butcher coming up, and putting the garden to bed for the winter, and then we will start on our paddocks in the tree line. So hopefully I can take you along for that one. Until next time, guys, keep up the good fight, and do not cave into this bullshit. There's always a loophole. There's always a way around it. Until next time, we'll be here, the Rough Road Homestead, where the grass, dirt, and gravel meet. Bye.